Hey, Maria, back with another video. Hopefully this video will work. My battery's not going to cut out on me. I got another battery, so I switched it out. See how this one works. I don't want any problems. I wanted to get on this video this morning. I woke up this morning and I was thinking how somebody had mentioned that on video that targeting was it was created by secret societies, and I'm not going to go into secret societies right now too much, but I will say that it is a secret society in a sense, okay, because secret societies are groups of people who are loosely connected. They're loosely connected based on an affiliation of some sort, who work to conspire against a person or an organization or political structure. Okay, so like in my case, there is a structure put in place to work against me. Now, you'll probably think, okay, and so a lot of people will describe this structure as a pyramid. And I was going to do an illustration of the pyramid, but unfortunately I'm getting ready to go. Trying to get dressed here, so I really don't have time to draw a pyramid, but you could draw a pyramid, like a little triangle, and then you can kind of follow along in your head. Okay, so pyramids are basically, they work like this, like when you hear about pyramid schemes, or people talk about things like, some of the conspiracy theories that relate to much larger secret societies. It pretty much works the same. Basically, think about what goes on at the top, okay? The top is where everything gets initiated. Everything is drafted out. Everything is not really drafted out, because it's actually orchestrated quite poorly. This whole thing. That's because it's so obvious. But what it is in my case now, after I left the farmer's place, I went to my I was with Piggy, and I was talking to his mom. And I didn't tell them anything about me, having my problems over at the Murrays. I just try to keep my employment issues to myself. I try to keep a lot of things to myself because, number one, I don't like mixing work and home life. And I had no idea that these people were involved in my work at all. At all. At all. Okay? But it's a personal belief of mine to not mix my home life with my work life, because if something bothers you at home, work, you can always go home and get away from it. If something's bothering you at home, work can be your sanctuary. So I don't believe in mixing both of them. I just don't. Because I'm the kind of person, I like compartmentalization, because I need to be able to feel safe and free and, of worry. Anxiety has a very big hold on me. And so I try to not deal with it as much as I possibly can, or find coping mechanisms to handle things. So I don't blend environments. It's just one of my personal beliefs. It goes against everything I believe. I don't do it. That's my main reason, because I like to keep issues separate, plain and simple. Anyway, I had just left the Murray's house, place of employment. We were at his mom's house, and we were talking, and I think I was talking about how much I enjoyed, managing people, and that I thought I did a good job, and that I had a good flair for it. I had good, I thought I had good skills for it. And I know that, when you say things like that, it kind of, you're just being honest. I mean, I wasn't saying it in a conceited way, but see, in their mind, they probably thought, oh, really? Well, and then in their mind, they decided from that point on they were probably going to sabotage my work. Now, think of these two people, Polly and Piggy, as the top of the pyramid. Okay, they understand that there's probably Polly, the main person who's jealous or whatever, probably felt, well, maybe she got me the job at KERO or whatever, or maybe she just felt like I was supposed to tell her what was going on at the Murrays, which I told her I wasn't going to talk about any of it. I didn't talk about any of it because I didn't feel, like I said, I don't like mixing my environments. I like to deal with my issues all on my own. That's just the way I am. I don't talk about work at home, and I don't do it, and vice versa. That is something I don't like doing. So this is before I knew that she was involved in it. So in order probably because I said something that I enjoyed and I liked doing it and I was good at what I did, and I was very good at what I did. They put this situation in place, probably based on religion, because that's what got thrown in my face so many times. So they're at the top of the pyramid, meaning they're the ones who them and probably my siblings at the top of the pyramid. And see, in the pyramid scheme, like a lot of people who work pyramid scheme type jobs, you know how like you might pay a person a certain amount of money and then the person pays another certain amount of money, and they call that a pyramid scheme. Okay, well the people in the middle and the bottom tier of the pyramid, meaning the people who are in the middle of the pyramid, not the top, and the people at the bottom of the pyramid don't realize the real reason behind the motivation and the idea and the beliefs and the real reason why this whole program is getting initiated. Okay, they know that the people at the top probably don't even want to admit the fact that the reason why they're doing what they're doing is, number one, they're jealous, and they're being competitive, and they want to control. Okay, so like for example, Polly wants me to support her child. Okay, she slipped up and said something bullshitty like that one time before, and now you put two and two together, and it's like, okay, this is about control. It's about control, it's about jealousy, it's about competitiveness, it's about one-upmanship. The people on the lower tiers of the pyramid, they don't see that. They think, okay, well maybe it is about religion. Maybe we're trying to help Maria. Maybe we're trying to make Maria, come see your ways, whatever. But some of these people probably did it out of good intention. Some people were doing it just to be evil, whatever. But the case is that nobody knows what goes on at the top of the pyramid. So I was thinking today, it's very difficult for people to understand target individuals because they don't understand it, and that's why I'm telling people that this needs to be understood among employers, because many people don't realize. Like in my case, if this is true, then my husband is extremely abusive. He's abusive. If he saw what I was going through, if he knew the stress, and he's seen it. He knew that I was having trouble sleeping. He knew it would cause me great sickness. He knew that it was causing me mental distress. This went on for months and months and months and months, last 2 years, whatever. He knew exactly what had happened to me, and he was working against me, so therefore it is abuse, plain and simple. And to the employer, they're thinking, well, she just needs to stay home with him and spend time with him, understand him, cater to him a little bit more. That's the reason why we're doing it. But you know what? If he was like that way, then he needs to come up and say that to me instead of working through those lines, okay? He never tells me what he wants, okay? And so all these years, I was thinking, okay, well, this is good. This is what he likes. He's never verbalized anything. And of course, this is all his mommy's idea. Whatever the case is, I'm leading him. So, but I will say this. That targeted individuals are not understood, and that's why they're not getting the assistance that they need. Like, I should have been able to go to any employment agency, any employer, and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. I don't need to ask anybody's permission for shit. Now, I would also like to say that the smear campaign of me and then my family joining in, but God knows what their reasons were. But I remember, like, one time I went to, I was talking to Polly, and see, I never told anybody that I actually got my GED. I never said anything to anybody. I don't talk to people about my life. I don't talk to people about it at all. Got it many years ago, and after I got it, I put it in storage unit and forgot about it. But I remember I was at, and see, Polly's the kind of person, she loves the thrill of destroying people's lives. She's sick like that. She's very sick like that. And she said something about me having my GED, and I'm like, how could you possibly know that? How could you know that? Because I don't think I've ever told anybody. And like when it came to applications that had it on there, sometimes applications don't have, the option to, it doesn't ask you for a GED. It doesn't have that slot on there. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. And in those cases, if it doesn't, then I just kind of say, put the last high school that I went to. And I got that advice from a professional magazine for people who ask those questions. Those questions you can ask. And so, anyway, that was something I never talked about. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm ashamed of it, because, I don't have anything to be ashamed of. If anything, I should be looked upon as a success story. That I'm a person who did the best they can based off of being in a situation where I was basically scapegoated by my family as a teenager, and I found an alternative method to try to keep moving. And I don't see where that's something to be ashamed of at all. At all. I really don't. But you know what? I do understand that there's a lot of misconceptions out there as well. So it's not something that I sit there and talk about. Now, because it is a misconception, by the way, the GED was actually created by the military, I believe, or somebody who assisted the military for people who had to leave and serve the military and could not finish high school for whatever reason. Okay, and so they initiated that particular test to demonstrate that you knew everything from 9th to 12th grade, and so that way that you can receive your, you can, continue on with your life. That was the reason behind that, and that's how it got originated. So a lot of people some people grew up on a farm, some people couldn't go to school, some people were abused, like myself. Some people had all kinds of reasons, you know what I mean, why they got their GED. But it's not something, I understand that most people in the public sector think that a GED is something that bad people get. Bad people get GEDs for some reason. They think it has something to do with, but you can't get a GED and pass a test with everything that you move from that requires so much knowledge and be stupid. You just can't be. You just can't be. So my point is that this was a deliberate sabotage, and it was a way of keeping me in line, supporting her son, and it's a form of abuse, plain and simple. So by alerting and making employers aware, which is that's my goal, is to try to make employers aware of the situation. There are women who are being abused right now, and employers are helping them do it by taking phone calls by their stalkers, by assisting in limiting or manipulating their employment or whatever they're doing. They are assisting the stalker. Now, some people will say, well, you know what? The reason why they'll let them they'll let these people get away with it, Piggy and Polly. Well, because you lied about your race or whatever. I don't care what. You can't, that is an excuse. And if that's the excuse you're using, well, then that's a racial issue, okay? That's a racial issue, and you need to check yourself on that one when it comes to employment law. There is no excuse for it. Whatever the case is, it seems inhumane, and it seems warped and wicked, and it should not have been done, plain and simple. So, yeah, that's my reason, and I have a good reason for that, I am not ashamed of my past. No, I'm not. I don't talk much about myself, but I don't see any reason why. Anybody else with half a brain would look at this as a success story. They would say, wow, this girl did what she could to take care of her kid. Not that I don't try to, attract attention to myself. I really don't. I was just trying to take care of my kid. I knew I had a good skill. I knew I had something that I liked to do. I knew I was passionate about it. So you just keep rolling with it, do the best you can. And I enjoyed it so much that I felt like I wanted to build upon it. What's wrong with that? There's a lot of people who think, well, I can't do it, I can't do this, whatever. Well, you can do it. And if you can do it, if you can do whatever you can, what's the big deal? Like I said, there's a lot of people in society right now who are in the same situation as I am, and you don't pay attention to them because they're white. That's all. That's the only reason. It doesn't get brought up very often. It's not really important. It just isn't. I mean, after that time period, it's what you do afterwards is what matters. And that's how I look at it, and that's how it should be looked upon. So, yeah, it was used as a form of abuse, and it was just really wrong. So, yeah, the main thing is to try to get employers to understand what a targeted individual is, to help employers understand that they shouldn't take instructions from anybody other than that target. I mean, the applicant. It's not. That chances are, if an employer gets approached by a member of somebody's family, and they're asked to, connect a person to a job mysteriously, connect a person to a job without that so-called reference being a part of it. Like, for example, if I was to refer somebody, I would probably call up maybe, let's just say, for example, I was close with Laura Hill. I would call Laura Hill and say, Laura, I know a girl named Debbie. Debbie's looking for a job in human resources. Could you, hook her up or something? Then I would let Debbie know that I contacted Laura, and then I would have Debbie call Laura, or Laura will call Debbie. And everybody knows that I referred her to the job. Do I think that I own this particular person? Do I own Debbie? Do I do I have the right to direct her next step? No, I do not. I'm just simply doing her a favor. If you can't give somebody something, don't give anything to anybody at all. Okay? So this goes to women as well. I've heard a lot of women talking about, oh, I let my husband pay for my college, okay? I've heard a lot of this on talk shows about how women ended up penniless and all this other shit and they can't figure out why. That's why. This is a letter to women right now, okay? Now nobody paid for my shit or anything like that, but I will tell you this: stand on your own 2 feet. Don't ever let anybody give you anything. I don't care what your husband gives you. He paid for your college. Guess what? There's a lot of people with that attitude where they think, well, I gave you something, I'm going to take it away. And that's why I've heard and read about a lot of women who go into, like, for example, great professions, and after they get a divorce, mysteriously, all of it falls apart. They can't find the same kind of job that they were doing in their field. Why? Because of this illegal practice. Because their husband feels entitled to take it away from them. Like I said, there's a lot of men in law enforcement who do the same thing. Okay? It's a form of abuse. Employers need to understand that. And if they were following the law, they would see exactly what that is. It's abuse. Okay? So right now, the focus is to start educating employers. Wrapping up this video, have a wonderful day.